Hey guys, how's it going? I'm making this video. I have a 2012 Nissan 370Z. It's a sport, so it has the rev match and the bigger. I believe it has a bigger brakes on it. I'm not sure if this applies to the base model as well. You could look that up, or if your base model is having this problem, this is probably what's causing it. So my car, I bought it newer. It's a 2012, but it only has like 36,000 miles on it. I probably owned it for a little over a year now. And when I first got it, everything was stock on it. Wheels, just the whole deal, exhaust. And the exhaust on these things are super quiet to begin with from the factory. And over, I think, a period of like 3 months, I went to back out of my garage one day and I heard a pretty loud click when I reversed. And it kind of, that's the only time I really heard it is if I let the car sit for a while and I went to reverse. And then over a period of time, it got pretty bad to the point where each time I'd reverse or go forward, you'd hear a click each different time. So, you know, if I was driving, each time I accelerated or decelerated, you'd hear a click. So if I was going through the canyons or through a parking lot, you could hear it, and it's super annoying, especially if your exhaust is quiet. So even with I have a Tome now, but even with that, it was still, you could still hear it. It bothered me really bad. It's pretty embarrassing. It sounds like your fucking wheels are gonna fall off. So anyways, I looked on some forums, and this is kind of the way that the only way I think you can permanently get rid of this problem. So basically, this is the stock nut that's on your axle, and then this is the little castle nut top where your cotter pin goes. And so the only way you can really get rid of it is you have to buy a Kawasaki. This is actually a Kawasaki axle nut. So I got one from my dirt bike, the place I buy dirt bike parts from. They actually were able to order 2 for me. So you're gonna need 2 of them, 1 per side. And it's a 24 millimeter, and this is the part number for it, right here. And then you're also gonna need to get a hold of Nissan or order these spring washers online. You might be able to find them. And this is the part number for the spring washers. And you're gonna need to buy 2 washers per side. So you're gonna need to buy a total of 4 of these washers, and this is the part number from Nissan. And so what you're gonna do is when you get this nut off your axle, you're already gonna have one of these spring washers on each side, but you're gonna need 2 more on top of that per side. So you're gonna have a total of 3 washers on each side, and then 1 castle nut per side. The only reason you need that many washers is because the castle nut on the Kawasaki, the deck height is a little bit shorter than your stock nut. So those 3 washers make up for the deck height that you lose by using this castle nut, the Kawasaki one. So from my knowledge, this obviously, I build driveline, so this isn't, you know, what you're gonna have obviously on your car. If you do, I don't know, you definitely got a problem. So anyways, so from my knowledge is, even though this thing, let me try to get this thing, sorry about that. So let's say this nut right here is tightened onto there. So let's say this is your axle right here, and this right here is your where it goes into your hub. And if this nut was actually screwed into there, I guess even though the stock nut is tight, each time you accelerate and decelerate, I guess it has a little bit of like left to right kind of movement. It's almost like kind of loose inside of there, and each time you accelerate, it goes this way, and each time you you know, decelerate, it kind of comes back, and that's where you get that clicking noise from. So I don't know why it's like that, but I guess when you use that Kawasaki nut and those 3 washers, it kind of prevents this kind of play that you have when you accelerate and decelerate. So basically, yeah, what I did is I just pulled this nut off. I added 2, I actually slid the axle just out just a little bit, and then I took some grease and then I put inside of those little keyways right there. And I went and pushed the axle back in as far as I could, and then I put the 3 washers inside of here, and then I put this nut, the new castle nut, on there. And you're not going to need this little piece right here because it's obviously it's a castle nut already, so it has these things made into the nut. And I torqued it. I'm not sure if it matters on what years you have, but I think for mine it said torque it to 75 foot-pounds, but I did have to torque it just a hair more to get that hole to line up, so that I could slide that cotter pin back through there. But anyways, yeah, so this is these are kind of the parts you need to fix that, because I've heard of people replacing their axles and buying new OEM, like the whole deal, and they grease that little part I told you to grease inside of here, and it still doesn't take care of it, and you still end up getting that click later on. So it's kind of a temporary fix, but the permanent fix is to get this the Kawasaki Castle nut. You might be able to find it online. If not, you could order it from like a dirt bike store near you. And then the spring washer, you're gonna need to order that from Nissan. So anyways, you're gonna need a total of 2 of these per side, and then 1 castle nut each side. So this helped mine when I did that. It fixed it permanently, so I don't have to hear that clicking anymore, and I didn't have to go out and buy new axles or anything like that. So anyways, I hope this helps you. If it does, let me know. If you like this video, leave a comment, or you can like it or subscribe. I might start making some videos pretty soon on my car. So anyways, sounds good. Thanks, guys.